Jasmine, thank you so much for helping my project. Could you say a little bit about yourself?
Not a problem. Hello, everyone. I'm Jasmine Schmally, and I'm from the United States. I'm a licensed nursing assistant, graphic designer, musician, motivational speaker. I could go on and on and on. Founder of the Waves of Kindness platform on Facebook and stuff. I'm someone who loves to spread the kindness in the world and stuff. And I love talking to people from around the world and making friends with them. So that's a little bit about me in a nutshell. Back to you.
Well, can you talk a little bit more about kindness? I think we all have a general idea of what kindness is, but what is kindness to you?
To me, being a friend to everyone and just realize we're all one and we're all connected and we're all human beings, and it doesn't matter where we're from or what culture we're integrated into. None of that matters. What really matters is that we're all human. And the sooner that we treat each other, human being, realize that we make mistakes and go through hard times, and the sooner that we get that and start treating people with respect, the world will become a kind place. Now, I'm sure not many people agree with me, but that's how my thinking works.
Well, not many people agreed with a lot of thinkers and people that later proved to be right. I mean, when Einstein came out with his theory of relativity, people were like, what you talking about? Time is variable. But as you were talking about the definition of kindness, I thought of a word, which you just said, which was respect. And I feel like that's almost like foundational, like even that's more fundamental than kindness.
Yes, because if you cannot trust someone, then how can you be kind to them? You can't be, because you can't trust them. So in order to be kind to someone, you're gonna have to be able to trust them. And when you begin to trust them, you'll begin to respect them. And when that happens, then you can start being kind. But you got to have trust and respect into place before you can practice kindness.
Well, it seems like we lack a lot of trust and respect in our society.
Yeah. Yeah. And another thing comes into play, and that's called empathy. And that's being able to be in the other person's shoes and feel what they're feeling and stuff. That's also a very important thing that you got to practice in order to be kind. Because, there may be someone that's, might have made some bad decisions, but it's not their fault. It's due to their environment. It's due to their surroundings. They were brought up that way. They couldn't help it, So it's like being kind to them and having empathy for them and helping them out. I'm sure they'll be like, you know what? There's kind people in this place. You know what? Maybe I can be a kind person myself.
Absolutely. And you mentioned seeing things from other people's point of view, which I kind of see as the whole point of this project. And there's so many important topics that we could talk to people about, but a lot of them are so triggering. Like, it's like the moment you mention them, you're no longer talking about the thing you're talking about. You're talking about all the stuff behind it, like global climate change, or social justice, or government, or vaccination and pandemic. I mean, all those are like important issues, but like you can't go up to somebody and talk to them about it and really understand them, because they don't feel safe talking about their point of view. It makes them upset. They have a lot of uncertainty about it. But space, almost nobody thinks about.
I think about it a lot, believe me.
Oh, really? Tell me.
Yes. Oh my God. I've been watching some things, extraterrestrials, that kind of stuff, and it just blows my mind. But it's like, people think that, I'm sorry, I'm just saying this. You can call me crazy, whatever, but this is just my opinion. It's like, if people think that We're literally the only ones in this whole entire universe. And you know how big this universe is, and it's expanding every day. So it's like, if you think that we're the only ones here, then you're wrong. There has to be life outside this place.
Yeah, it seems the odds are against it. I mean, you have like the whole Drake equation, right? Which is what's the number of stars times the number of stars that have planets times the number of stars that have planets that have, an environment that's able to sustain life times the ones that potentially do times the ones that actually create life that become, and you get like this long equation, and you're like, look at that, and you're like, wow, of course there'll only be one. But then you start finding out there are trillions of stars, and every single one of them have a planet, and a lot of them are actually within sight of the habitable range of their solar system. And you look at our own solar system, and you find out water is quite common. And then you're like, and also consider where we are. For the longest time, we've put ourselves in the center of the universe, right? First of all, the world was flat, and it was just a great diorama happening in the sky, right? And then we found out the world's not flat, it's round, and all those things are going around the world, but it's okay because they all go around the earth. But then we found out that really the sun was going around was at the center of the solar system, and we were just going around it. But it's okay, we're the only planetary system in the galaxy. And so as we keep going on, we become more and more we become smaller.
Yeah. And people don't like to think of that they're just ants in this humongous universe. And if you really think about it, how important are you really? I mean, if considering the whole grand scheme of things, really, how important are you? I mean, this universe is huge, and you think you're all that. Yeah.
Well, have you ever heard of the philosophy of absurdity by like Camus? I think is his name, Albert
No.
Camus. But
No.
basically, it's two things. One is a universe that has no meaning, and humans that need the universe to have meaning. And it's trying to reconcile those two ideas.
I've never heard of that. I'm gonna have to think about that one tonight.
That's awesome. Well, coming back to the topic of space, did you know that NASA is planning to send astronauts to the moon in 2024 for the first time since 1972?
Yes.
You did know this. And how did you find out about it?
I like to research about space and everything. So through my, looking around, I found that out. Now, don't ask me where, because I don't know, but I found it out somehow.
Well, do you think your fellow medical professionals that work with you know about it?
I doubt it, honestly. I don't think so.
Oh, what do you think NASA would need to do in order to make like your coworkers know about it? I mean, like what information sources do they consume that NASA should be leveraging?
Well, my coworkers like to use Facebook a lot and things like that. So I don't know, it's kind of, I don't really know. Like, I don't really know my coworkers that much, so I can't really say what they like and what they don't like and what they do and what they don't do. I can't really answer that question.
Well, how about the people that are your audience for the motivational speaking?
Yeah, I could be like, hey folks, they're going to be sending astronauts up to the moon in 2024. Who's excited? Raise your hand.
Okay, sorry. You kind of pressed my button there.
Sorry.
uh, anyway, well, what do you think about us going to the moon? I mean, it sounds like you're excited about it.
Yes, I am. Like I said, I love space and I love anything that has to do with space because it really opens up. It makes people think more and become more open-minded instead of being stuck in this one reality, you know? Yeah, no, wow. Whew. Yeah. I can't even imagine what they find up there. Just saying. I can't even imagine. I'm sure
Yeah,
they're gonna find some pretty cool stuff though.
you kind of mentioned about opening up people's world and this one reality. A lot of people ask me, what are we going to get from going to the moon? And I think the number one thing is what you touched on, and I would phrase this perspective, like the
Yes. Yeah,
having.
they're literally gonna be getting a new perspective on things. Feel like, we can actually go to this thing that's not on here. That's in a completely different reality. And that will make people be more like, oh, okay. So maybe you're not that important.
um and we've sent like robotic missions to the moon with cameras looking back at Earth, looking at the moon, and they don't quite have the same impact on the human psyche as I think an actual human experiencing that would have.
Yeah, because it's like, yeah, if you just see pictures, it's like, yeah, cool. That's interesting. But it's a whole different scenario when you're actually standing on the moon and seeing it for yourself and just experiencing everything. And then you're like, oh my God, I don't even know what to think of this. What just happened?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's something else. But not everybody's excited about it. Some people are like, why are we sending astronauts to the moon when there's starving people in the world, when there's global climate change, where there's social justice issues? And I was just wondering, how do you think about that?
Well, maybe, I don't know. Maybe when people start to go up to the moon, maybe they'll come back and be like, they'll feel new motivation and something within them that will make them want to fix all these problems that's going on with the earth.
But
So in other words, when I'm saying, going up in space and just, taking a break from the earth and just getting out of it, you'll come back into it with a new fresh head, new perspective, and be like, okay, I'm going for it.
now I've heard a concept recently. I mean, I kind of knew about the idea before, but these two words or three words, I kind of crystallized in my mind: diffusion of responsibility. There's this idea that, if somebody has like a heart attack and there's only one person around, the chances of them
Yeah.
getting help are much, much higher than if there's like 20 people around, because those 20 people all look at each other going, you take care of them, you
And
take care of them.
they'll just freeze. They'll just freeze. They don't know what to do. But if there's one person around, then they will feel that responsibility to help that person. And if they don't, then they're gonna feel bad. And they don't want to feel bad, so they're gonna go and help them. They won't have that crowd of people to be like, what am I supposed to do? I don't know what to do.
But I feel like all of our Earth problems, since we have 8 billion people on Earth, where 8 billion people are just looking at each other going, you take care of it.
No, you take care of it. No, you take care of it. No, you take care of that one. No, you.
Yeah, that's
Why
what I
can't
envision, except in multiple languages. And
I know. I can really only speak one language. I couldn't speak multiple.
I know,
Yeah,
I know,
why can't
You heard the joke. What do you call somebody that knows 3 languages
A trilingual?
and
I
somebody
don't
that knows
know.
2 languages
Bilingual.
and somebody that knows 1 language?
Uh lingual? I don't know. Hmm?
American.
That's a good one. Yeah, okay. I get that.
Yeah, I know. I think we could do it, learn a lot from our European counterparts who know like 2 or 3 languages, probably all of them.
Well, actually, I do know Spanish. Yo hablo español para 3 años, pero es difícil. I don't know. I know some, not all.
I understand. I took a couple of years of it in high school myself, and you know, um, that's about the extent of my language as well. Buenos dias.
¿Cómo
You know,
estás? Estoy muy bien.
yes, bien, bien. Um, so where do you see humanity in 500 years?
Oh, jeez. I don't think it'll be around in 500 years. I can't. Oh, well, in 500 years, they will know that they're not the only ones on this earth. Number two, they'll be like, maybe we should save this planet. Number three, other life forms will, no, okay. No, it'll become the universe. I'm not talking about the earth, I'm talking about the universe in general. It'll become an interplanetary civilization. Okay, I'm going to sound very crazy, but this is how I think of things. Now, here's this huge universe, right? You know, that's like the Earth in itself, is this universe. And then you got all these different planets and stuff. These are like no, you got your galaxies, right? Those are like the states or the whatever you want to call it, or the countries, whatever. And then you got all the planets and stuff. Those are those are your states, right? No. Yeah, no. Yeah. And then you go into it and then voila. So I really think in 500 years, that's what this universe is going to look like. An universally civilization. I don't know. I don't know if that sounded right. Or I think interplanetary. I don't know.
Yeah, I know it's going to be something else, especially, I mean, if the only way to communicate is using electromagnetic waves and um, it only travels at light speed, then it takes a long time to kind of make it across that distance.
Yeah. Yeah,
Um,
it's very interesting to think about. I mean, anything is possible, but people need to open up their minds to new things.
well, I presume you don't want humanity to disappear in 500 years.
No, I really don't.
So, assuming you had magical powers, which actually I believe you do, so I hate to put this burden on you. Where do you want to see humanity in 500 years? What would be your dream state?
Well, very simple, where everyone's just one big global family and everyone gets along and respects each other's differences and learns from each other, and instead of fighting and arguing, actually talk about things and compromise and negotiate and all that stuff. It's like we're pretty evolved compared to the animals. We are evolved. We've developed such tools. Let's use them. We don't need to argue anymore. Why can't we just get along? I know people don't understand me. Even my parents don't understand me. They think I'm crazy, but I don't think I'm crazy. I think it's possible, you know. But every single human on this earth has to realize that, we're all one in the end.
But negotiating and compromising and kind of standing your ground and respecting each other. I mean, these are social skills that take experience and time to learn. And I was just thinking, recently, I went to go visit my cousin. She has 6 children, ranges from like 2 to like 14. And they are constantly like pushing and pulling on each other, negotiating, and that's mine, play this game, you're not following the rules, but I am, this whole thing. And it kind of clicked for me that these kids are going to have an amazing skill set when it comes to dealing with people, just from interacting with each other and having to, because they all love each other, but the same token, that doesn't mean it's going to be warm and fuzzy all the time.
Right, yeah.
Right. I mean, they're like, you're in my space, you're in my chair, no, I'm sitting here first. Those are issues we're facing as a society, but we didn't have any experience on how to deal with it.
Hmm.
And I was just wondering what you thought about that.
Well, yeah, I mean, okay, of course. I mean, we're human. We all go through bad things. I mean, that's normal. That you're human. You've apparently accepted that when coming into this world. But what you can do is have empathy for people, Instead of reacting to them, kind of take a moment to be in their shoes and try to understand where they're coming from. And then from understanding where they're coming from, you can be like, oh, okay, so I understand where you're coming from, yada, 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 yada. But this is my point of view. Why can't we try to find some similarities and, come up with an agreement?
Yeah, absolutely. Let's not focus on a thing we can't agree on. Let's put that to the side. Let's find things we can agree on and work on. Use that to develop a working relationship and some confidence. And then once we feel more comfortable with each other, now let's go and reopen that thing. It seems like everyone wants to go immediately to conflict. What don't we agree? Let's find reasons we can't work together because I don't want to.
That's no, you should be like, so what are ways that we can work together and work on that? And then through doing that, then the other things will get solved. Maybe not right away, but eventually.
Well,
Because people
and at least we're taking care of something instead of just sitting around wasting our energy.
just you're arguing about what?
I think the street should be clean. I agree. Let's go pick up the trash.
I know. How simple is that? Like
Exactly.
find one thing you both are passionate about, and then go and do it. Who cares if you don't agree with everything else? If you find that one thing that you both are passionate about and are on the exact same page, then go and do it. And then at least you're doing something productive and you're not wasting time. Arguing about stupid things like that is just going to waste your time.
And energy. And then after you've cleaned up the street, you're like, hey, look at what we did together, buddy.
Yeah, and then eventually, friendship might form, and there you go.
Exactly. So if it was safe and affordable, would you go to space?
Yes.
How far would you go?
I'd start. I don't know. I'd start with the moon. I'd go to the moon.
Would you immigrate to Mars and live there for the rest of your days?
Okay, so if I had two options, either stay on the Earth and die, which I don't want to die, or go to Mars and have a new life and stay alive, then yes, I would go to Mars. But
why do you think your odds of living on Mars would be higher than living on Earth?
well, you never know. I mean, I don't know. Well, what happens if the Earth just dies? Where else are you going to go?
Well, I mean, Mars is dead.
You don't know that. You don't know that. You never know. I mean, there could be so many different types of life forms in this universe. You never know. I don't know. This is a subject where I hesitate to share my true beliefs here.
Well, I wish the world was a safer place where you had no where none of us had hesitation. We should all be like, the one thing about my cousin's children is they have no filter. They will tell you what they think without reservation for the impact. And sometimes it's refreshing. It's nice, because then you don't have to play guessing games.
Yeah, but then there's some times where like you don't want to hurt the other person's feelings, so I don't know, it's kind of like I don't know. It could go
Well,
both ways.
I know, but then after so much, like people catch on, right? And then you get into a place where you can't do anything but hurt people's feelings because they assume that you always have this undercurrent that's
Right,
not
right, yeah.
there. I mean, it's like whenever you have a bad thing that you start using a good word to describe because you want to make it less bad, the only thing that you seem to accomplish is making the good word bad.
Yeah, and that's not really anything worth accomplishing because he made it bad. Who wants to make things bad? Do you want to make that thing bad? No, I don't think you would. I would think that you want to make that good thing good, not bad. Oh gee, oh my God. Oh, I have to I'm sorry to
Well,
cut this short, but
no trouble, but thank you so much for your time. I thoroughly enjoyed meeting you, and hopefully we stay connected.
oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, geez. Life just got busy and then I I don't know. But I saw one of your interviews came up on my news feed and I'm like, oh yeah, that's right. And then I went onto the calendar thing trying to figure out a time, but I wasn't available at 8 o'clock. So I'm like, we did it
But
though.
I really appreciate it, and I look forward to seeing you around, and you have a good rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Stay connected, okay?
Bye bye.
Bye.